Chiefs fans, it's time to discuss the Week 5 loss on Monday Night Football. Brutal, brutal game. This one finished ugly. We lose 31-28 to the Jacksonville Jags on Monday Night Football. We're going to talk some Week 5 takeaways coming out of this thing, and then we're going to get into an AFC West update. Talk about how our divisional opponents did this week. But before we get into that, you're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. My name is Jackson Durham, and let's take a second to vent, guys. That was a very, very wasn't a fun game to watch last night. I think we can all agree on that one. Get down in the comments and spam FJAC. This is a safe space for us as Chiefs fans to vent our frustrations. So get down there and do it with me. I know I will be doing so. But let's go ahead and get into our discussion, some Week 5 takeaways here. And we've got to start with special teams play because it was absolutely horrific. No good, very bad, absolutely horrible. Whatever synonym you can think of for the word bad, it can apply to our special teams play. Got off to a really ugly start. Nico Remigio on the first punt return of the night chooses to not let it go. Catches it at the 10-yard line. Could have gone for a fair catch there. Doesn't elect to do that or let it go for what was likely a touchback. Could have started that drive at the 25. Instead, he's going to catch that one and will get planted at the 5-yard line. So did not get off to a great start in that situation, and things just snowballed from there. Like I said, it got significantly worse in a hurry. We had 4 critical special teams penalties, 2 of them on Jack Cochran, and Nico Remigio got back in the action for another one. The first one was a holding penalty on Jack Cochran that undid an excellent return from Brashard Smith. He breaks one off for about 50 yards. This was a really great play in this game. Could have sparked a great drive for us. Instead, it comes back. We end up going 3 and out on that drive. Cochran holds again later in the game. We start a drive at our own 20-yard line. Nico Remigio on another kick return, illegal double team block. We're going to start that drive at our own 14. And then worst of all, easily worst of all, Harrison Butker kicks it out of bounds. The Jacksonville Jags start their drive at their own 40. And we'll come back to that one in a second. But first, Jack Cochran, number 43. Get him off the team. There is just absolutely no excuse for it at this point. He is a special teamer by trade. He's played 8 snaps on defense this season, and he has revealed himself to be straight up ass at special teams. There is no reason to keep 43 on this roster. I expect him to be gone before we play in Week 6. Moving on, though, Harrison Butker's kick. This was the worst special teams penalty we had all night. And it continues a trend for Harrison Butker in the absolute wrong direction. Harrison has been bad this year. There's no two ways about it. He previously in his career was one of the best kickers in the NFL. He's been critical to us winning multiple Super Bowls. Nobody can take that away from Harrison. Nobody can take away what he's contributed to the Chiefs historically. But this is a what have you done for me lately league. And lately, Harrison Butker has not been good. He's been inconsistent from beyond 50 yards. He's missed multiple extra points this season. Hell, he's even been inconsistent from within 40 yards occasionally. And now, in a critical situation in this game, one of the most important situations, he kicks the ball out of bounds. An amateur hour mistake, a JV level mistake for a special teamer from one of the best, or what's supposed to be one of the best kickers in the NFL. It's just getting inexcusable at this point for Harrison Butker. But this was something, the penalties and the struggles of Harrison Butker, that you guys would have known to be watching for, and our subscribers, our members of the real ones here at Chiefs Report definitely were watching out for this because we've talked about these things again and again on the channel in videos we've made in the last couple weeks, how these have been issues lately. So if you want to be informed, if you want to be more prepared for our Week 6 game against the Lions, you got to get down there and hit that subscribe button. We're going to have a preview coming out. And I'm telling you guys, we know ball around here. I'm going to have you ready, and you're going to be the smartest fan in the room at your next Chiefs watch party if you are subscribed to the Chiefs Report. I can promise you that. And win or lose, we're still here. We lost this one. Wasn't fun to watch. I'm right here to talk takeaways right after with you guys. Speaking of takeaways, the defense. This section, I'm not going to lie to you guys, is going to get a little ranty. This was one of the most frustrating plays I've ever watched. The defense gave up on that Trevor Lawrence play. I have not seen a professional football team quit the way we did in a critical, probably the most important moment of this game. It was unacceptable. Trevor Lawrence, I counted it out when I went back and rewatched this game last night. It was up till 12:30, suffering in that way. He spends 4 seconds on the ground. 4 entire seconds laying on the ground. And not a single member of the Kansas City Chiefs can get anywhere near him during that time. He has all the time in the world that he needs to get up and go on to plow his way into the end zone. We miss multiple tackles. Jerry Tillery grabbing at air. Drew Tranquill grabbing at air. And worst of all, most frustrating of all, our leader on defense, our best player on defense, number 95, Big Chris Jones. What's he doing? He's standing there doing nothing. He stopped moving on this play. He stopped pursuing Trevor Lawrence. And you know what he did after that? Walked. He walked towards him while Trevor Lawrence walked his way into the end zone. It's unexcusable. I could not believe my eyes. From one of the best defensive tackles in our generation to give up on a play like that. And then to go into his presser and talk about the mistakes that the team made and the lack of effort. Buddy, you are the lack of effort. Look in the mirror, my man. You absolutely stopped trying on this play. You stood still and you watched as Trevor Lawrence walked into the end zone. You might as well have been in the third row of the stands because you had just as much impact there. Absolutely piss poor effort from our defense on that final play. Inexcusable that Trevor Lawrence got in the end zone. And when you have moments like that, when you have plays like that, you have to question how bad this front seven wants it. Because something else we didn't even talk about, George Karlaftis coming all around the edge, stops pursuing Trevor Lawrence. A couple guys pile up in front of him. He just stops chasing him. Doesn't even go after him anymore. It is an effort thing at the end of the day. Maybe you would have had to stumble over some guys. Maybe you get hurt making that play. But how bad do you want to win football games in the NFL? Because this is a league that's going to take everything from you. And Mahomes, in postgame, delivers this line. We've lost too many games already this season. Well, I got to ask, do you really believe it? Because it's time to start playing like you believe that statement to be true. And I think Mahomes is, but is the defense? I don't think the defense right now can say that they're playing like they feel the season is on the line, like they feel they've already lost too many games, and they absolutely have. We have to lock in because the playoffs, that's going to be here before you know it. And you know what else is going to be here before you know it? The holiday season, guys. It's coming up. It's right around the corner, and that means families coming in town to watch games, to exchange gifts, and most importantly, they're going to want to eat, guys. Big family dinners are on the way, and nothing says family dinner to me like great steaks from Omaha Steaks. From everyday dinners to effortless entertaining to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. Enjoy USDA-certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, cozy and convenient comfort meals, and so much more. Grass-fed, grain-finished beef has more marbling for exceptional flavor and is the choice of steakhouses and professional chefs around the world. Omaha Steaks offers an exclusive lineup of USDA-certified tender steaks, and their fan-favorite filet mignons have achieved the distinction of USDA-certified very tender. And now, during their early Black Friday sale, get 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select fan favorites at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code Chiefs at checkout. That's an extra $35 off when you use promo code Chiefs at checkout, in addition to the 50% off you're already getting with the early Black Friday sale. That is a ton of savings. Terms apply on that. Please see site for details. Let's get back into takeaways. Final takeaway from week 5. We wasted a fantastic game from our offense. There's no two ways about that one. You look at the team comparison in this one. You look at the box score. You would think we won this game by at least 3 touchdowns, I would say. You just look at stats. If you look at NFL stats a lot, you just showed somebody this that didn't watch the game last night. Hey, what was the final score? They'd probably say 21-10, Kansas City maybe. No, we end up losing by 3. We outgained them by almost 150 yards. We averaged more than 1.5 yards per play, 3 more yards per carry, one of the best games, actually easily the best game our rushing attack has had all year long. And we were efficient in the red zone. We won the turnover battle as well. We did all the things that you hear, all the coaching cliches, win the turnover battle, except for the penalties. The penalties got us, and poor execution got us. Those were the two things that this game came down to. You beat this team in pretty much every category. You outgained them on the field, but it ultimately comes down to execution in big moments. A 99-yard interception from Patrick Mahomes. He's not without blame in this one. Fantastic game outside of that moment. And execution on that final play against Trevor Lawrence. Those were the two things that it came down to for our offense and defense. And then the special teams. Litany of penalties for those guys gave Jacksonville more opportunities, and then just penalties mixed in throughout as well. And we're going to get into that in just a minute here. But two other things that I really want to talk about. Where was Noah Williams in this game? We have talked about Noah Williams a lot on this channel. He's one of my favorite young players on this team, one of my favorite members of our rookie draft class. Do you know how many snaps Noah Williams played? 3. 3 snaps for Noah Williams. That is absolute malpractice. I think Matching Patek on Twitter sums it up absolutely perfectly when he describes it as malpractice. There is just no other word for it. For leaving a top 5 corner on the bench. Why on God's green earth is Shamari Connor out there? Shamari Connor's not good. Shamari Connor is very, very bad. There is just no two ways about how bad Shamari Connor is. It's just extremely frustrating that we have a top 5 corner in the NFL, someone who's played that way since coming in week 2 in Noah Williams, and we choose to play genuinely one of the worst corners in the NFL in Shamari Connor. He has not broken up a single pass this year. That is the entire job of a cornerback, is to break up passes, to defend in the passing game. He is a subway turnstile. He's just letting everybody go. 14 targets for 14 receptions allowed, 175 yards on those targets, and he's missed 6 tackles. He added 2 more to that last night. He's missing over 20% of his tackle opportunities. He's just given up free yards after the catch. Let's compare that to Noah Williams. 8 targets for Noah Williams, 2 receptions allowed. That's doing the job right there. 3 pass breakups, 38% forced incompletion percentage. You know how many forced incompletions? 0. It's a 0% forced incompletion percentage for Shamari Connor. It is absolutely ridiculous that this guy was not on the field. I know I'm getting frustrated, but I think we should all be getting frustrated as Chiefs fans that we have this type of young talent on the bench. He played 3 snaps in this game, and all 3 of those snaps were as a special teamer. That is inexcusable from a coaching perspective, and it does make you wonder why. Why is Steve Spagnuolo so committed to playing an inferior player? Something that is so obvious to all of us in this situation. It's not like he can't see that. But something else that was pretty obvious in this one, where has our strength in one-score games gone? It has been bad this year. It has gone from something that we did better than any team in the NFL over the last few seasons to something that has become our biggest Achilles heel. It's kind of ironic in a lot of ways. You win 12 one-score games last season. You frustrate other teams who feel like they played a better game against you, and you still come out with the win. And now we're sitting in that situation ourselves. I feel like, and I know you guys feel like too, that we played the better game last night, that we were the better football team. But we didn't get the win. And we can talk about why that was. We talked about the penalties. We talked about the failure to execute in big moments. But it doesn't make it not frustrating. And it does make you question where our ability to win these one-score games has gone. We are 0-3 in them in 2025. Something that we were perfect in has now become just something we can't succeed in anymore to this point. We have to find a way to make the plays to win these games again. That's ultimately what it comes down to. I know it sounds so simple, but you just got to find a way to make big plays in big moments. That's what elite football teams do. That's what we did the last few years. That's what separated us from the Bills and from the Ravens. Teams that would succeed in the regular season, we succeeded in the biggest moments. But I want to hear from you guys here. Who do you blame the most for Monday's loss? Who does this one rest on, in your opinion? Is it the special teams? Is it those guys? Is it the front seven for the lack of effort on fourth down? Or it's not fourth down, on the Trevor Lawrence scramble, excuse me? Or is it somebody else? Is it Shamari Connor for his poor coverage and the pass interference penalty at the end of the game? Let me know in the comments who you guys blame the most for the Week 4 loss. Let's get into a little bit of an AFC West, or Week 5 loss, excuse me. Let's get into a AFC West update, however. Go around the rest of the division. The Raiders up first. They get dog-walked this week. If you missed that game, you didn't miss much, unless you're a closet Colts fan. 40-6 win for Indianapolis at home. The Raiders fall to 1-4. Chargers also lose. First in the division right now. They lose at home to the Washington Commanders, 27-10. And the Broncos, in a pretty big stunner, go on the road in Philadelphia, rally from down 17-3 at the half, and win 21-17 over the Philadelphia Eagles. And so here's how the division is standing at this point. We have fallen into third in the division. We had an opportunity to tie Denver for the second spot this week with a win, and we would only have been one game behind the Chargers due to the tiebreaker. So we would have been one game away from taking first in the division if the Chargers lost next week and if the Broncos lost as well. But we lost that opportunity. It's out of our hands at this point. We're now a full game back behind the Broncos and a game plus a tiebreaker back on the Chargers. But we are still far from out of this thing. Let me tell you, this team is still extremely talented. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways you have to come out of this game with. Outside of the few big moments, outside of the penalties, this team had great moments in this game. They really did play good football, but they just didn't play clean football. We've got to clean up the errors. We've got to have better execution in the biggest moments of the game, and we'll get right back on track in this division. I'm not worried about Kansas City yet, but we're running out of time for me to not be. I'm going to see you guys later this week for our Week 6 preview of our game against the Detroit Lions. Let's go Chiefs. I'll see you next time.